Welcome to the Vibrant Visibility Podcast. Being visible as a soul-led business owner isn't just about the practical strategies, marketing tips, and tech systems. It's also about the internal systems, the safety of your nervous system, the somatic connection, and the embodiment of being a badass CEO that will support you in all of the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. And I'm here to share all of that with you on this show. I'm your host, Shawnee Arsenault, a registered nurse turned visibility coach and business mentor for heart-centered coaches and healers. I created a six-figure coaching practice in my first year of business and scaled to multiple six figures my second year, all in the middle of getting pregnant with my first baby and becoming a new mama. If I can do this entrepreneurship thing, I know you can too. If you're ready to learn how to be a CEO in a way that feels aligned with your heart, become a lighthouse for the people that you're meant to serve, feel free to authentically express yourself and be a magnet for success, and grow your coaching business in a way that is sustainable and fulfilling, I can't wait to be in your ear along for the ride. Hi, friends. I'm so excited to be back here with another episode of Vibrant Visibility. And today I'm actually going through a practice that I use every single day, or almost every single day, as part of my morning routine. And I mentioned this a little bit in the gratitude episode, the week of Thanksgiving. And that gratitude piece is a part of this entire practice. So I'm actually going to go through the entire practice with you. And of course, I also have a template for all of you to use if this really resonates with you, or if you kind of want to do your own version of it. I have a Google Docs template that I will give to you guys. That's going to be in the show notes. So this practice is something that I have implemented for the past probably 2 years. Well, recently I added in more somatic elements to it in the last year or so, but I started doing something very similar about 2 years ago. And I would brain dump everything. I would do a little gratitude practice. I would do my affirmations. I would write down priorities for the day. And at the end of the day, I would celebrate some wins, celebrate some things that went well. And so it was a very simple practice, literally took like 5 to 10 minutes to do, sometimes less than that if I was, really in a rush. So it's not a practice that takes a lot of time, but it is a practice that takes a lot of intention, right? If you want to be intentional throughout your day, this is something that will really help. So there's a few different elements to this daily practice, and some of it is somatic based and some of it is really strategy and like logistics, which is helpful. It's helpful to be able to merge the two of those worlds together, because I do think that if we're too much in our feels and too much in our bodies, it kind of pulls us from reality. And then if we're too much in our minds and too much in our heads, we lose touch with ourselves. We lose touch with our hearts and who we are to our core as human beings. This practice is something that I share with all of my clients because a lot of them come to me and they don't have a process for acknowledging their emotions, acknowledging what's on their mind, what's weighing heavy on them, and then prioritizing for their day. A lot of times this is really helpful for business, to get you to prioritize actions in your business. But if you don't own a business, this is also something that is really helpful in your life too. Okay, so there's 8 different elements to this practice. And the practice as a whole is called the Somatic Start. But this is where you can kind of untangle everything that's weighing on your mind, fully feel the emotions that you're feeling, check in with what's on your heart, and then fully come to a place of alignment and grounded energy before setting your priorities for the day and like making your to-do list and scheduling your time. Doing this practice also really gives you the opportunity to kind of sift through your inner world and pinpoint like any major insights or ahas or reflections that you can always come back to and repurpose for content for your business. So I really like using these check-ins, especially the brain dumps and the affirmations. I'll reuse a lot of that as social media posts, but I don't give myself the pressure to create social media posts from this. Like, this is where I just come to be myself, to pour out what's in my heart and my mind. And if I go back to reflect and review some of my past entries, I usually always find some amazing gold nuggets that I can share with my audience. So I'll kind of go through each of the 8 elements inside of this practice and give you kind of like a little description of what each of them entails, and feel free to change this in whatever way feels the best for you. This is not like a hard and fast thing. And like, I didn't copyright this or anything. So feel free to use it as your own. And, this is really just a tool that I use every single day. So the first section is honoring your mind. Okay, this is where you can dump all the thoughts that are running through your mind today, setting a timer for 2 to 5 minutes, and just stream of consciousness, dump your thoughts. I love this because a lot of times I wake up and I just have things swimming in my head. This is really helpful too if you're an ADHD person, like I have ADHD, and I have a lot of things going on in my mind at the start of the day. So it's really helpful for me to have a space to write everything down and just get it all out there without filtering yourself, without, this is a space where no one's going to read. No one's going to read what you write here. So brain dumping, honoring your mind. The next level down is the emotional check-in. So what emotions are you feeling today? What feeling is present and how do you feel those emotions in your body, right? Doing this little check-in can actually make it easier for you to acknowledge your emotional state throughout any point in the day, right? Just giving yourself this intentional moment to sit with whatever feelings you're having and to notice how those are manifesting in your body, right? We don't need to attach a meaning or an explanation for why you feel what you feel. What we are doing here is we're just simply naming what is here, what is present, and acknowledging the sensations in your body that arise. So we're just creating awareness. Same thing that we're doing with the honoring your mind part, but with your emotions, right? We're just noticing what's present. We're not trying to fix anything. We're not trying to change anything. We're just trying to be with what is here. And that's really what the first 3 sections of this practice is all about, is just noticing what's here, noticing what is present. So the emotional check-in is the second piece. The third element is what I like to call the heart dump. Okay. So what is on your heart today? When you quiet your mind, you move past the emotions. I wonder what lies deep inside of your heart. Is there a truth on your heart that wants to come to the surface? Right. So I spend some time naming that truth. So for example, I'll actually kind of do this exercise live here with you guys. So, if I'm going past my mind, past my emotions, a truth that is on my heart today is that I don't have to worry about what's going to happen in 6 months. There's been a lot of conversation about potentially big life decisions that are going to be happening within the next year. And I have found myself being very worried about it, getting anxious, feeling a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty. And I think the message on my heart today is that I don't have to worry, that it's going to work out. Like I trust myself. I trust that it's going to work out. And so what I want the heart dump to be for you is kind of more of a deeper intuitive message, right? If you can tap into that intuitive part of you that has a truth lying with it, noticing where that truth lives in your body and giving yourself the space to honor it, even if you don't know the why behind it, right? Like I said, I'm going to be having to make a lot of really big life decisions over the next year. And I don't know the why. I don't know how everything is going to work out, but I know that it will, right? Like I feel it in my bones. It's something that I can't explain. So that's the message that I would put inside of my heart dump. Okay. Is there something intuitive that you feel but can't describe why? And maybe there's nothing here, right? Maybe you don't have an intuitive message for today. And that's totally okay. But if there is one, this is the space to put that. The third element I wanted to talk about is the I am safe affirmations. Okay. I personally love affirmation work, but sometimes it can fall a little bit flat. And so I have found, especially since I've been doing somatic work, that safety affirmations are the most effective for allowing our nervous systems to feel supported throughout the day. So I'll give you some examples of I am safe affirmations, and you want these to be really relevant to what you're experiencing right now. So if you're feeling anxious about a potential launch, or if you are worried about a networking event that you're going to, or you're worried about raising your prices, creating some affirmations to help you feel safe with those things, right? So some examples. It's safe to make abundant income in my business. It's safe to be supported. It is safe to be seen and share my story. It is safe to sit in the uncomfortable. Okay. It's safe to not know the outcome. Like notice how you feel whenever you say those things. Okay. It is safe to. It is safe for me. And I have found that these types of affirmations are so, so powerful, and they have a huge, huge impact on the way that I show up in my business and in my life too. So those are the I am safe affirmations. The next element that I wanted to talk about is gratitude, which you guys have already heard me talk about in the gratitude episode that I did on Thanksgiving week, but I'll just reiterate for those of you who didn't listen to that one. The gratitude piece is one of the most important parts of this practice. And it's got a little twist to it. It's not a typical gratitude practice. So you write down 5 things that you're grateful for, but you also want to write down what you want to give yourself credit for that allows you to be grateful for this thing. Okay. So example, I'm grateful for being able to cancel my coaching calls yesterday when my kiddo was sick. And I give myself credit for honoring what my priorities are and asking my clients to give me grace. That's an actual example of one that I've used inside of my gratitude practice before, right? So I'm grateful for something. And you want to try to write down gratitude items that you noticed in the last 24 hours and things that are really specific. The more specific you can be, the more powerful it is, right? So I'm not saying to write down, I'm grateful for my house. I'm grateful for my health. Like, yes, we are grateful for those things, but try to be as specific and as recent as possible. So if I'm thinking about something that I'm grateful for, yesterday, I am grateful for my husband making a hair appointment for me as a surprise because I don't know when I would have done it. And I give myself credit for being able to receive those acts of service openly. I think sometimes whenever people give me things or whenever people gift me things or surprise me with things, I get kind of uncomfortable. But with my husband, I've really practiced the art of receiving the things that he gives to me, the things that he does for me. And we've both been working on this with each other, but that's something that I would like to give myself credit for. And the reason that this is really powerful, that self-credit that you add to the gratitude, is it prevents you from looking at your life and thinking like, how did this all happen? Right? You're acknowledging all of the work that you have put in to create the life that you have. So that's why that's there. And I'm telling you, this has been one of the most impactful pieces of this practice in my entire life, right? If I skip all of the other things inside of this practice, this is the one that I don't skip. So the gratitude. Okay. And so now, after we've done the honoring your mind section, the emotional check-in, the heart dump, the I am safe affirmations, the gratitude, that's when we do the to-do list. Okay. So I typically like to do 3 things, but sometimes it's more depending on what kind of day it is. But what are the 3 things that you can take action on today that will move the needle forward in your business, in your life, right? If you look at your to-do list and all of the priorities that you have, what are the 3 things that absolutely must happen today? And actually blocking off the time that it will take to do those things. Right? This is the moving the needle section. So we want to come to this section from a place of groundedness, from a place of gratitude, from clearing all of the mental junk that's in our heads and putting our actual priorities down. Because you could obviously write 3 things on this to-do list that you could knock out in 2 seconds, but that don't actually matter, right? What I want you to put on this moving the needle section is the 3 action steps you can take today that are going to get you closer to those results, right? So maybe it's connecting with 10 people today. Maybe it's making 1 post on social media, or pitching yourself to 3 different podcasts for you to be a guest on. It might be taking the day off of your business. It might be unplugging, deleting social media from your phone and giving yourself some time to rest. It might be doing something fun, right? I don't want you guys to think that the moving the needle section has to be always business, always doing. Sometimes you also have to leave some room for being, right? Sometimes in my moving the needle section, I'll put watch a TV show for an hour, watch an episode of a TV show, go for a walk. The next section here is called surrender and trust. So you're obviously going to do those action steps that you put in the moving the needle section, but there's so much that we have no control over. So I use this section to kind of, it's like a manifestation section, honestly. It's like, what are you trusting to the universe, to God, to spirit, to source, whatever that is for you? And this is where you can write down some of those goals, some of those desires without being attached to the outcome, right? Like I'm manifesting 3 new clients for this month. I am manifesting a 10K launch. And then what you're doing here is surrendering, right? Putting that out into the universe that, yes, this is what I want. This is what I want to create. And then trusting that it's going to happen in its time. So this isn't the same thing as like setting goals. And if you don't meet those goals, then it means you failed, or it's not that. It is, this is what my intention is. I don't know if I'm going to create it, but I'm going to do my part by moving the needle. And I'm going to surrender the rest, And then, of course, you want to end with celebrations, right? What are you celebrating for today? What went well? What are you proud of? What things can you give yourself even more credit for on top of what you wrote in your gratitude section? And I think this is super, super important to include, because the more you do this, the more you celebrate what went well, the more you give equal airtime to the things that you're proud of doing, to the things that you want to acknowledge yourself for, you start to combat that self-critical voice that all of us have, okay? All of us have that little voice in the back of our head that's like, you didn't do enough, you didn't. And this is how we combat that, right? By constantly looking for ways to celebrate ourselves, to acknowledge the wins from the day. I also have a little bit of like a weekly practice reflection and then a monthly practice and reflection. I'm not going to go over those too much because they're not really that super exciting. It's just kind of an overview of lessons, highlights, wins, things like that. But this daily practice, I swear by. I absolutely swear by. It is something that has literally changed my life. It's kind of a twist on a practice that my mentor gave to me, but I kind of added like a somatic twist to it because I feel like that's what I needed to feel supported myself. And I've noticed that it's been really helpful with my clients as well. So what do you think of this practice? Do you already do elements of this practice? I would love to know. I would love to know if there are elements of this daily practice, the Somatic Start, that you already incorporate. Or does any element in the Somatic Start excite you? Is there something that you want to start incorporating into your daily routine? Make sure to email me. I love getting you guys' emails. And if you enjoyed this episode, take a screenshot of it, tag me on social media. Like I said, I have a free download in the show notes for you. So make sure to check that out. You can use this template for your own, modify it the way that feels the best for you. As we're approaching the end of the year, I think it is really helpful to have a process, a system for evaluating and for reflecting. And this practice has really provided that for me, and so much so that, I do it religiously. So I hope this was helpful for you. Again, this practice has really changed my life. So try it out. Let me know what you think. Let me know how it goes for you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for tuning in today. If this was helpful for you, subscribe to the show to make sure you're always in the loop when a new episode is out. And I would love to invite you to join me in the free Visibility and Tech Support for Coaches community, where we hang out and chat about all things visibility, tech, systems, and heart-centered business building. I regularly share tips and tutorials and go live every now and then, and it's just nice to be in a community with other like-minded coaches and healers. So you can join this free space at alignwellco.com/community, and I can't wait to see you there.